we are nearing summertime, the summer of 2021. And you see, we are time coding our productions because probably in 2041, 2051, 2061, and all the other 20s after, people will be viewing this production. So they would know at what time frame this actual episode was aired and what was the thought process of the presenter at that time. This actual episode is being produced on a Wednesday. So we continue to speak about the activities which took place during the summer when I was a boy in Calibishie growing up, and we started speaking about the free will. On the last episode we spoke about how you construct the free will, or how we started discussion on the construction process of the free will. So I said we needed the free wheels. The free wheel was like an exaggerated scooter, not on two but on free wheels, that we rode along the place to have fun. And on the final end of the last episode, I told you that we got the material to make the wheels from the mang roots. The mang is a tree which grows close to freshwater, the river. So my village, Calibishie, and also Woodford Hill and the other places where there were rivers or waterways, there would be a number of mang trees. So we got the wheels, as I explained in the last episode, and then we have to protect the wheels. How do you protect the wheels? Because you see, when you put the wheels on the shaft, on the axle at the back and the handlebar at the front, you have to put the wheels through a bolt. Most times we use a bolt with a square end, but some people got the pistons from the motorcar engines. The pistons are bolts with a large rounded head. I guess the large rounded head of the piston prevents the bolt from going through the engine block. Well, we as boys used to harvest the pistons from engines. Yeah, we had these mechanical skills as well. Do not leave an engine idly by, We will take the pistons out. And you'll come next day with an engine with no pistons. We take out the rings. We had our skills. Because I used to watch fellas like Bolo and these guys do the little mechanics, and we could fix a carburetor. We could choke a carburetor, have a vehicle start, we could crank. We can speak about all of these things in another episode. But what I'm saying is, the bolts we use for the free wheel were the piston bolts for the back, and sometimes we use the square head bolts for the front in terms of the handlebar. But so when you put the bolt through the wheel and into the axle, sometimes after a little wear and tear, the wheels get wobbly because the bolt hits away from the little groove that you make for the bolt. So we found a technique to take away that problem, and we start putting fairy on our wheels. Fairy is a metal strip, that same metal strip that the people used to seal the buko. The buko is a wooden barrel used to transport and store rum. And as we discussed earlier, almost every shop in Calibishie had a buko, with the exception of Massa and Mayun and them, I think, alone, that did not sell rum in Calibishie at the time. I remember them selling Zip and all these wonderful soft drinks, but no rum. So we would huff the fairy from the buko, especially the older ones. By huff, I mean to lift. Not necessarily steal, but just, get a sack. The sack is the rounded oval metal shaped stuff. And we would cut that stuff into strips using cold chisel. And sometimes we bend until we get it to go. But some guys had different techniques. Some guys also had the little saws. What do they call them again? The hacksaws. So we did what we had to do to cut our little ferry, to put holes in our little thing, and we nailed the ferry over where the hole is supposed to be, we put a bolt hole through that ferry. So when you put the bolt through the ferry, it's metal on metal. You cannot really undermine it very quickly. So the free wheels, which had ferries on both sides, in and out, were even quicker than those with no ferry. We'll continue on the next episode in terms of how we really built the free wheel. This is very interesting stuff, and I would like the younger people from Calibishie and Dominica and the world to really understand this. So let's continue discussing on the next episode.